JJ, can you just speak to Bronny the last several weeks or months and kind of the development that gets to the point where, it looks pretty comfortable out there, leads the team in scoring and assists, and just the kind of the growth that he's shown?
Yeah, we've obviously monitored him in the G and feel like he's, in those sort of end game situations, when he's gotten a chance to play with us, he's been really good. So not surprised by tonight. And I think his confidence is growing. You mentioned the word comfort. That's certainly there for him. And I think the next step is just becoming like an elite conditioned athlete. Because when he does that with his physical tools and just his like burst and his handle, and we think he's going to be an above average to really good NBA shooter. He's gonna have a chance to really make an impact.
Yeah. JJ, what do you take out of those 48 minutes minus what Mike just asked you about?
I think it probably reinforced some thoughts. We've been really, really good. It's weird. We've been really good with our greens. I think we started really doing it again in the New York game in the Garden, and for some reason, maybe it's just not having full strength and playing guys that haven't been with us all year, but for some reason we haven't been able to execute that against Giannis. Their technique has just been god awful. No matter how many times we talk about it, show it, it's just hasn't been there. Did it one time tonight. Cam forced a jump ball. Did it one time. Yay. So.
And if you'll entertain another Bronny question, I know how you feel generally about narrative, and I'm sure there will be a reaction to this in some ways, probably by some of us too, but how impressed have you been with just sort of his ability to kind of keep his head down and be about the work through all sorts of stuff that traditionally would never be thrown at a second round pick?
Yeah. I saw some video interviews that he did at the Combine in May, and obviously I was not the Lakers coach, just an NBA analyst and podcaster at the time. And I texted Bron, and I was like, man, Bronny has his head on straight, like he gets it. And since day one, I've just been impressed with the person that he is, and to deal with, because of who his dad is, and just keep a level head about it and be a class act. Says a lot about him, says a lot about that family, and the way LeBron and Savannah have raised him. It was obvious to me from the moment, I started spending time with him on the court this summer. He was certainly going to be an NBA player, and I still believe that he'll be an NBA player.
JJ, once the games were rescheduled, this was obviously going to be the toughest stretch any team has gone through this season, just because you played 3 straight back-to-backs. Then you lose Rui and LeBron right before this stretch. You go 3-3, 2 of the games, you don't have 4/5 of your starting lineup. How would you just assess the past 8 days and finally being on the other side of it?
You have to look at it big picture and feel good that you go 3-3 in this stretch, and it was going to be tough no matter what. With the added game, made it harder. I don't think the game that exists today in the NBA and the modern NBA player is like, I wouldn't be either if this was what I came up in and this was the game that I had to play every night. It's different than when I first started. it's just you're not built to play 6 games in 8 nights. The game doesn't allow you to play 6 games in 8 nights. It's just possible. That's why I don't think have 4 and 5 anymore. If there are, I mean, I lived through the lockout year. I somehow didn't miss a game till the very end because we secured our seed. It was a road game in Memphis. Dan gave me the option, do you want to play all 66? And normally I would be like, yeah, I want to play. But then I was like, fuck no, dude. I just played 65 games in 92 days. Like, this is impossible. And it was an easier game to play then because there wasn't as much movement and there wasn't as much spacing and you didn't have to cover as much of the court. It's what our guys just went through. It's difficult. And the old heads are going to talk about how physical it was in the 80s and 90s, and that's fine. But, the level of physicality in our game and the way that the court has to be covered and all the movement, it's tough. And just glad to be on the other side of it. And hopefully, going forward, we are healthy and can make a push here.
Awesome. What an A block. Early